Hello everybody, this side Dr. Taposh Bhattacharya. We will be discussing our SAP architectures and operations. This session is a part of this session 2 is a part of our SAP Audit training program, which is officially we call it SAP Audit Techniques. Now in these sessions, having around 11 slides, first slide will be discussing the SAP architecture. Then we will talk about the SAP NetWeaver, which is very important because NetWeaver's technique SAP is built on. Then basic operations of SAP, the basic concept basically. Then how to access the systems, which means SAP systems. Then SAP operations, some basic guidelines, and then we'll discuss about the standard SAP icons, which is very much useful for operational purpose. And as because auditors may not have all the auditors may not have the prior SAP operations knowledge, these sessions will guide them how to operate the SAP and what is the basic structure of SAP and why and basic understanding of different concept of SAP. Let's look at the first slide, which talks about the SAP architecture. The SAP is a three-tier technology. That's why sometimes it is called SAP R3. First tier is presentations layer. Second tier is applications layer. Third tier is database. The first tier is presentations is basically deal with the users. And second tier is which is applications, which is SAP system itself. And third layer, which is database, which is basically the database where all the data is stored and from where all the data is retrieved for the reporting purpose. In most of the cases, databases are used by the Oracle. Some cases they are DB2 and some cases Sybase also. And a database here means it is a RDB-based database. It is called Relational Database Management System. Now let's look at the NetWeaver. What exactly is the NetWeaver? NetWeaver is a technology which is on which SAP is built on, and this technology helps to communicate with the other SAP systems as well as other legacy systems also. The NetWeaver helps to retrieve the data from any systems and to send to other systems also. Now let's look at the NetWeaver. NetWeaver is an applications and technology platform for all SAP-based applications. From SAP NetWeaver 2004 onwards, all the present and future applications are based on NetWeaver. NetWeaver has different stacks, which is basically the people integration stack, which helps to work as a portal. Information integration stack, which has to work as a BW as MDM. MDM means master data management, BW means business warehouse. And third stack is process integration, which works as a integration with other systems through PI. PI is performance integrator. There are three uses are considered the pure NetWeaver systems as BW, PI, portal, must. The most important is application platform, that is the ABAP and Java engine. Here it works as a base for all other SAP applications or modules, and that is base for ECC 6, SRM, CRM and SCM. Basically from this slide we come to understand the NetWeaver is a technology which has to integrate with other systems also, and based on this technology all the other systems are integrated with the SAP systems, ECC, SRM, CRM and SCM. All these are three different applications of SAP which can be integrated and work all together. And this system is started from 2004 and all the onward applications are based on NetWeaver. Even the SAP has comes out the new applications database platform is HANA, that is also based on NetWeaver. Let's look at the third slide, which talks about the basic concept of R3. We always called any customer brings to the SAP system or purchase the SAP systems, we always see the client. Client is a basically customer's concept, and client, when a particular customer purchases the SAP systems, he is regarded as a client, and while delivering the package, SAP supplies all the clients to him, and clients as a demo clients, and the demo clients are basically consist of all the tables, structures, everything. And going forward, we also used to copy all the table and structures for a new client, and we name it in a 3-digit figure, which naming conventions starts from 000 to 999. That means up to 999 clients can be created in the SAP systems. What does SAP client contain? Now, application data, customizing data, and user master record. Application data is the data which stores in the database tables. Customizing data means each and every client are different in SAP's point of view, and there is some information are created by a particular customer or based on the client dependent informations, and they modify the system as per their own requirement. That information are in customizing data. And user master record is basically defines the authorization used to users. It consists of all the users working with a particular client and how their authorizations are created, how they act in the SAP systems. This is very vital for any auditor to check in. Then, some basic concept of R3. This slide talks about what is a client. Client is a logical portion of a SAP R3 physical database. From a business standpoint, a client can be interpreted as a logical group of companies. There are two types of data available. There is client-dependent information and client-independent information. The data in each client may be separate from other clients. There are basically two types of data in R3 systems, client-dependent and client-independent data. What is now client-dependent and what is client-independent data we need to know. Client-dependent data is defined as a data specific to individual client. For example, the number range, ABAP variance. ABAP is the programming backbone of the SAP systems. User master record, as well as the data which is created and updated to the R3 transactions. These are all client-specific information. And what is the client-independent data? Client-independent data is basically called data dictionary objects. There is tables and views, there is table structures and views. ABAP source code is a programming source code, and screens and menus, which is usually same to all clients. There is no change is permitted. Okay, if any source code is client to change, a particular client need to change, and that is just is a JET, which called is JET program. That JET program is regarded as a client dependent data. Okay, now in order to know a particular table which or its information, whether it is a client dependent or independent, we need to call the AC11 or AC12 transactions, and if you find the particular table have a mandate MANDT field, then it is known as the client dependent information. And in the bottom part of this slide, you see the SAP always deliver the 3 clients to any customer, the 000, 001 and 066. Okay, these 3 clients are called SAP deliver clients, and these are having all the basic structures of SAP programs, SAP tables, and all the requirements are filled. These are called demo clients. And when you create your own client, you have to need to copy the structures, tables, everything from that particular demo client. You need not touch this demo client. Then we look at how to access the SAP system. Then initially when you log in, this login pad appears, and then your system administrator usually give you initial password and initial login name to access the system. And whenever you enter the system, you need to change your password, because you cannot change your login name as a user login name. You only can change your password. Because initially, system administrator is giving you default password to access your systems. And as and when you enter the systems successfully, you change your password for protecting your information and protect your system's integrity. The next slide shows you how you can access the basic screenshot of the SAP system. Okay, and you can create this. This slide talks about the one facility of a user. Yes, any user can create his favorite folder based on his favorite transactions or desired transactions he will do in future, and files and web address you require, and links to other applications can be kept separate in a particular folder, so that whenever you access the system, he can go to the particular folder and call on his particular transactions as per his requirement. Next slide, it talks about the sessions, status bar, and transaction code. These three things you need to know what is the session. Any user can open 6 screens at a time. Each and every screen called sessions. To move from one screen to another, you use the Alt plus tab. And whenever you in a particular session, in the right hand side corner, you can look at the status bar. You can invoke the status bar information so that you can see which transactions you are working and what is the users and which client you are working. This below screenshot shows that. For your understanding purpose, the status bar screenshot has given in this slide. Now if you move on to the next slide, which is called SAP Operations, some features. Then help. SAP has a inbuilt features on F1 for help. If you click on any field of any screen, or whenever you click on any users, click on in the field of any transitions, then that is F1, he can have a look detail of this particular field. And if you use the F4, then what values you can enter, that also guide you. This is the operations guidance for any new users. And if you can access to the SAP user menu also, whenever you open the SAP, then immediately easy access screens appear. The first screens appear to any user to the easy access. And from user easy access screen, you can access as per your required transactions. And let's look at some icons which are very, very important regarding the SAP operations. The SAP, whenever you call the SAP transactions, the screen, the top portion of the screen, there's a bar appears. That's called standard toolbar. And this slide talks about all the icons, what is the purpose and how to operate it. Most important is transaction code box. In the left hand side you see the blank space. That's where we give the call the transactions we want to desire. Then this is slide. This slide talks about the toolbar icons in detail. We have a find next button, we have a previous page button, we have a last page button, we have a print options, cancel options, menu bar, back button if you go to back button, and we have create session button and create shortcut button. And there are so many features built in the SAP systems for the users, as and when any things he or she want to call upon, and you click that particular icon, and immediately as per his or her choice this screen will appear. Thank you. In the next session, we will discuss about more on the SAP operations and other features of SAP. Look forward for our next sessions, that is session 3. Thank you.